Picture this. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, your mind racing through all the ways you failed today. That presentation didn't go perfectly. You lost your temper with your kids. You forgot to call your mom back again. And there's that nagging voice whispering, "You're not strong enough. You're not good enough. God can't possibly use someone like you." But what if I told you that this exact moment, this place of weakness and vulnerability, is precisely where God wants to meet you? In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, Paul shares something revolutionary. God tells him, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This isn't just a nice sentiment to cross-stitch on a pillow. This is a game-changing truth that can transform how you view every struggle, every limitation, every area where you feel inadequate. Here's the beautiful paradox. God doesn't need you to have it all together. He doesn't require you to be the strongest person in the room or to have all the answers. In fact, your weaknesses aren't obstacles to His plan for your life. They're actually entry points for His grace and power to flow through you in ways that will amaze both you and everyone around you. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to fill a cup that's already full of murky water. Nothing new can enter until you pour out what's already there. Our weaknesses are like that emptying process. They create space for God's strength to fill us in ways that wouldn't be possible if we were already convinced we had everything under control. Let me share something personal. For years, I struggled with public speaking. My hands would shake, my voice would quiver, and I'd stumble over words. I was convinced this weakness disqualified me from ever sharing anything meaningful with others. But when I finally stopped trying to overcome this fear through sheer willpower and instead invited God into my anxiety, something incredible happened. I didn't become a perfect speaker overnight, but I became an authentic one. People connected with my vulnerability more than they ever would have with polished perfection. This is how God's economy works. He specializes in using cracked vessels because that's where His light shines through brightest. Your anxiety might become a source of empathy that helps you comfort others. Your financial struggles might teach you generosity in ways prosperity never could. Your health challenges might develop in you a dependence on God that becomes unshakable faith. But here's the key. This transformation doesn't happen automatically. It requires a conscious choice to stop hiding your weaknesses and start offering them to God. Instead of spending your energy trying to appear strong, what if you invested that same energy in becoming available to God's strength? Start by identifying one area where you've been trying to go it alone. Maybe it's parenting, and you feel like you're failing your children daily. Perhaps it's your marriage, and you can't seem to communicate without conflict. Or maybe it's a habit you can't break, a fear you can't conquer, or a dream that feels too big for your abilities. Take that weakness to God in prayer, not with shame, but with expectation. Say something like, "Lord, I've been trying to handle this on my own, and I'm exhausted. I offer this weakness to you. Show me how your strength can work through my limitations." Here's what I've learned. God isn't looking for your strength. He's looking for your surrender. He isn't impressed by your abilities. He's moved by your availability. When you stop trying to be strong enough and start trusting that He is strong enough, you open the door for miracles. Remember, every great person in the Bible had significant weaknesses. Moses stuttered. David was an adulterer. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Paul had a thorn in his flesh that God chose not to remove. Yet God used each of them powerfully, not despite their weaknesses, but through them. Your weakness isn't a barrier to God's plan for your life. It's often the very thing He wants to use to display His glory. So stop fighting against your limitations and start partnering with God through them. Today, I challenge you to take one weakness you've been hiding and offer it to God. Watch how He can transform your greatest liability into your most powerful testimony. What area of weakness will you surrender to Him right now?